Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Online Teaching Show. My name is Tim, and I'm so excited to be here today to interview my next guest. And that's what we try to do on the Monday show, is to share what other online teachers are doing in their online teaching businesses, whether you're working for a company or a marketplace, just getting started, or you are out on your own teaching online, or maybe you have become a teacherpreneur and you have created things for teachers. I love to share that here on the channel. So I always say on the show, if you have a story to share or you'd like to come on the channel to be interviewed, feel free to send me an email. All my information, the courses that I sell, the Facebook group that I run is all down below in the description of the video. And if you're watching live, welcome to you. Thank you so much for being here and putting this into your schedule today. I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from and where you are in the world. So we've got people from all over the place. Hey, Nassis, first one to comment. Welcome, welcome. Cindy Ann in Rome. Very cool. We've got from classroom to computer. I like your username there. From Atlanta. And Rayana, I'm saying that correctly. So sorry for the mispronunciation. From South Africa in Cape Town. Cool. Hey, Mary, good to have you again. Hey, Brooke in Kansas, good to see you. And Cindy, hello, hello. I'm doing well. Thank you, Cindy Ann. Yes, and Yin Yin is doing well too. She is on the floor here. Let's see if we can get her up. Ooh, she usually makes an appearance from time to time, but there she is. Loves to be on the camera or sit behind the computer and, try to knock it off the table and things like that. So that's always fun. Hey, Anna from Cape Town and Clarissa. Oh, yes, I know you, Clarissa. So sorry about that. You had actually emailed me and told me that was who you were, I think, on my shows. Good to have you. Let's see if I'm missing anyone. Well, welcome, everybody. And feel free to ask questions. We're going to be talking about interactive leveled books. And I've known of my guest, Brenda, for a little while. And I heard that she was making these really, really great books. And I wanted to share them on the channel and just share how maybe you can use them as well in your online teaching. A lot of the curricula that is out there lacks sometimes focus on reading. And so I often have to supplement. So I'm excited to talk to my next guest. And without further ado, Brenda, are you ready? Give me a thumbs up and I will bring you up here. Let's see if this works with my layout. Hi, Brenda.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for coming. I'm trying to think. I've known of you for a while. Maybe I've seen you on different YouTube channels as well. Have you been on others? Yeah.
And I've done a lot of the conferences, and we just were on one of the conferences together the same day.
Okay. Yeah, definitely have seen you around, and yeah, it's good to finally connect and meet. So can you introduce yourself and tell everyone about your online teaching journey? Because I don't think I know everything about what you've done. So feel
Okay.
free to share what you want.
My name is Brenda. I am originally from Boston, and I love living outside of the country, and I've been doing it since my mid-20s. I've lived in countries like Lebanon, where I began my teaching career, and now I live in Bulgaria. I went home for a little while and decided I had to go back out of the country because I'm so used to it. And one thing you learn when you're in a foreign country and you don't speak a language, you really have to find a career. We all need to make money. I started a business, I didn't like it. And since I had done teaching before, and I'd been a teacher for over 10 years in a classroom, I decided to bring the classroom online. And that's where my online journey began. And I've been doing it for about 10 years now, even before it was even popular, when China wasn't even in the game internationally. And I used to tell the Chinese schools, I had worked for one before, and I was like, why aren't you teaching internationally? And then it became this huge explosion.
Yeah. Well, you're a kindred digital nomad to me as well, because that's sort of been my journey. I prefer living. I love Canada, and I was actually born in Bermuda. I love Bermuda. Great to visit, maximum a week, and then I want to get out. And same for Canada. I love living in Asia. And yeah, as well. I mean, I don't speak Thai, and
it's fun, isn't it? You go outside, you don't know what they're saying. It's the only time you can think to yourself because you have no idea what's going on around you.
Yeah.
I speak Arabic. I speak like a baby Bulgarian. I can decipher the alphabet, so I can be on my own out there, but I really like the fact I can't completely
Yeah.
understand everything yet. And also, we are kindred spirits because I used to have that white cat too.
Oh, there you go. Great. Yeah. I'm learning Thai, so I'm trying to get, it's good to learn the language of where you are for sure. It helps you to understand the culture and things. So, okay, so I want to ask you, did you work for like Vipkid or those companies?
Yes, I had a contract with VIP, but I never opened any classes. I worked with
Okay.
ABC, which was their baby.
Hmm.
We were the ones that experienced the first close down without no notice at all. So
Okay, was it?
we had already gone through this before. So as soon as they started to close, I had already known as an online teacher, your best bet is to put yourself in as many countries and take as many contracts as you possibly can. And as a freelancer, you can have private students, but it's always good to balance it with a company at the same time because the company usually has more students than you can ever get on your own. And just having those diversified passive incomes coming in from different, it's not passive, active incomes to come
Yeah.
in through all those different realms, it kind of protects you. So when China went down, I had like maybe four of their students anyway.
Okay.
I think the last company I was working with was Zebra English. And I had maybe
Okay.
4 other, and it was so sad because the ones I felt bad for were the children. They had no idea what they were doing psychologically to these kids because I was a classroom teacher and I've taught that age. It's a very tender age. And, to just suddenly pull us away from all of these kids, I can just see I can't see, but I can just
Yeah.
imagine what the parents must have had to go through.
Yeah. It was definitely a traumatic time. So, I wanted to ask you what brought you to Bulgaria? Like, how did you end up where you are right
Um,
now?
I ended up divorcing the person that I was married to in Lebanon, went home and was online one day, and I met another person, and I didn't know they were in a foreign country until I started reading the type in. I'm like, wait a second, I kind of understand you definitely aren't American. And they're like, I'm in New York. And I'm like, no. And then when I talked to them, I couldn't understand them. They were Bulgarian. And within like maybe 4 or 5 months of we were starting to talk, they invited me to Bulgaria to open a business, and they wanted me as the president. And I'm like, what? I just went from somebody that was a complete opposite of you, and now you're telling me you want me to run the company, control the money, and sign the papers? I'm on the next plane.
Did
So
this
yeah,
sound like a scam in the beginning?
no, because I would be
No.
part of the company. I,
Okay.
I I was an active member in the company, so I had to be part of the company
Okay.
for them, and it can't be a scam because I'm the one that signs everything.
Okay. I just think you're online, you meet this guy, he says he's in New York, but he's not. Uh,
No, he said because of what had happened to him in the past with a lot of the people that he had met there. Yeah, I still hold that against him till now.
okay.
Till
Just
now, because I was in Boston. I'm like, wait a second, you just said you were like a state, 2 states away from me.
right.
But it was fun.
Okay. So it was love, I guess, that brought you to Bulgaria. No, it
Business
was the business.
partnership.
It was the
Yeah.
business partnership. Oh, okay. Gotcha. And so are you still running that business now? What's going on with that business? Are you
I'm very
involved?
silent partner. Like I have absolutely
Okay.
nothing to do with it. I worked
Okay.
actively with it. We met a lot of people. We did a lot of marketing for a lot of different stuff coming out of the United States, but I really don't like finance. It was like they kept trying to teach me it, and I just kept going out of my head. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. I'm a language major. I am not a numbers major. Unless it has to do with shopping, I don't really care about any other numbers.
Yeah, I'm the same. So you go through this whole thing, and then how do you end up? Obviously, you went through a time when you thought, okay, I want to go back to what I'm good at and what I
Yep.
I love doing. And so, what did that journey look like? How did you sort of now?
We were using interactive boards. I still had some of the stuff on my computer, so I was able to create like a very interactive class. And I started teaching first one student a week, $15 a week. It was really scary. Then it started, they introduced me to their friends, and they gave me as a birthday gift, and then this that word spread out to somebody else. Then I started teaching adults as well in Korea, and they had children, so I started teaching their children privately, and I loved it because it didn't conflict with the company because the company they only taught adults, and I asked them if they don't mind, and they said no, we don't mind at all. So then I started getting children, and then those kids introduced me to more friends. And the same with even some students I found in China were none of the ones that were in classes with me from before.
And so you currently teach students online, right? Independently, like you said, you've got students
Yep,
in.
I
What
can't
is
get
your?
away from the class. I'll never get away from the class.
What does your current schedule look like, or
Monday through
student
Saturday.
base?
Monday
Okay.
through Saturday, multiple countries, Korea, South Korea, Japan, some kids in Turkey. Then I have a couple in China, and as far as Texas.
And have you done all your marketing just through word of mouth? How have you sort of built up
90% of
that
it's
student
word of
base?
mouth, or I'll respond to maybe an ad or 2 that I might see on Facebook that might intrigue me, that just or another teacher gave students away, which I love, because the more you work with other teachers, if they get full, they might ask, and if you're friends with somebody, they're more than likely to give. I've given students to people, and then people have given students to me.
Okay, that's great. So I didn't ask you this question before that I was going to ask you, but what tips would you give for someone who maybe wants to find students elsewhere? How did you do it? And what would you tell someone who's,
Definitely
what were some best tips?
do not pay Facebook advertisements. You'll never get them. Become a member of an active group. Facebook communities are where our virtual world is. Don't worry about mastering all of the Instagram, TikTok. You'll get lost. I stick to one. I love Facebook. It's the biggest one, and I'm most comfortable there. I do have an Instagram I occasionally post.
Mhm.
TikTok, I didn't like it. I got off as soon as I got on. But you have to have those outlets. People have got to know, and it's nice to have a website, but it's not necessary when you're first starting out. My website has nothing to do with my private teaching. You wouldn't even know I offer private teaching resources or services, because they're
Mhm.
nowhere advertised on any of my sites.
Yeah. Great tips. Thank you. I think it's good to just make connections too, and to get out there and meet other online teachers, find out what people are doing, because there is often people that are looking to give students to other people that they can't take. And the more connections
Yeah,
you
you're
make,
not competition, you're friends. People
right.
have to understand that you shouldn't be working against each other. It should be
Yeah, that's
working
right.
with each other. I work with other people that also create content, and I love it. I don't like
Yeah.
having that. Whenever I meet someone that doesn't have that spirit to work together, I try to like veer away from them, because that's not the kind of people you want to be around. They're in it for the wrong reasons. People
Yep.
that are true content creators are not going to be threatened by sharing secrets, because I constantly change. I
Yep.
constantly so good luck keeping up, because if it's this way tomorrow, it'll be this way tomorrow, the next day.
And there's always room for many of us to be
Plenty.
doing this. This is
Yes.
not,
And we each
we're
have our
talking
own
about,
style.
yeah,
Everybody has their own style of teaching, their own way, and
absolutely.
it's
I
good to
love that
see the
approach.
different ones. And I pay for also content myself,
Hmm. Great.
because I
Great.
support us.
So let's get into the stories, and sort of how you ended up kind of creating these e-readers. I don't know what you call them, interactive level stories. They look amazing, and I just wanted to hear like what brought that about.
Well,
From in your journey.
okay, in my journey, I started looking for curriculum out there. I grew up in a library. I loved reading. Other kids got toys. I got books. So I was writing at a very young age too. It's something I'd stopped, and I really found solace in it, and I find pleasure in it. And I could not find anything out there that really could help us with teaching in a way that they're mastering what they're learning. They're not just getting, okay, read the story, no questions. Kids just read it like a robot. They have no idea why they read it. They have no idea what it is. It goes short-term memory. So as a teacher in a classroom, I remember there's certain ways to guide them through the reading to make them master it. And there's other ways that, because they're digital learners, they learn in a whole different way than we did. If we throw them a PDF up, they're going to be bored. They're going to walk away. They're not going to understand. They're not going to remember. It's just really hard. So I wanted something to match a digital learner, and I wanted to make sure that it was affordable.
Mm.
Raz Kids has that. They have leveled readers, but they're very expensive.
Yeah.
Education.com has lots of books, but they're too fast and they're not full stories. I've used them all. ABC, okay, they have National Geographic, great. They have a great, but again, it's not interactive. And again, it was either turtle pace or rabbit pace, but none
Hmm.
of them where they could keep repeating it and the kids can get the accent. I don't use
Mm.
robots as audio. I'm the robot. So
Hmm.
I tell the stories as a storyteller. My great grandmother was a great storyteller, and I like to tell stories as well.
Great.
Then, as it started, and I wanted 3 levels. So if you have a child that comes in and the level is too easy, you can immediately switch. So I don't charge this for this level, that for that level. No, all levels are included. Each story, most of them are 3 stories. Some, if I felt was inappropriate for young kids, I didn't make a lower level. I didn't like Star Trek for babies, at least the ones
Mm.
with the guns in their hands. I just did not like that for ages 4 to 6. So I wouldn't make that story for the lower levels. And the
Right.
same thing for the older stories. Maybe they didn't have a couple of them because it
Right.
was too little. But from there, it progressed. I originally started as just animation and like a game at the end. And by feedback from parents, teachers, and I test these stories on the students. Every one of my students around the world are having lots of fun because they're my test. I test
Yeah.
there. And I can
Yeah.
tell what they like, what they don't like. They help me with the animations. And I'm teaching them skills that will carry on to
Yeah.
them presenting in school as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. So, how do you make them? Before we show it, how do you actually like what
It's
sort of like the nitty
I
gritty
come up with
tools?
an idea.
Yeah.
The most popular story that I have has like over 52,000 views. It was a
Yeah.
story
Oh, just to
I
interrupt you, that's
dedicated.
one thing. Her YouTube channel is linked below. Don't go there now. Go afterwards. But you've got some stories that have thousands of views on there. So
I found my
you're onto
algorithm.
something.
I did it before and then I broke it and then it started again and it seems I broke it again. I don't know how. But it's okay. It'll go up and down. The story that hit the biggest was the one I dedicated for my father who had died when I was 11 years old and I missed him
Mm,
so much. So I put him and my mom in a story, even though they were divorced. I didn't care. I'm like, hey, that's my mom. That's my dad. They're in the
sure.
50s. This is what I grew up listening to. And then I put my husband's parents in there as well. And his father passed. So,
Mm.
and I premiered it on his mother's birthday
Oh, wow.
so that she could see something that was hi Katie that there she is.
Hmm.
Ah, so she could see something to remind her of her husband and it's also that it'll be there forever. And I started the YouTube channel because of my son, because one day I'm not going to be here and we live in different countries and one day the kids might want to know who their grandmother is
Mhm.
and they'll be able to hear me every
Yeah.
day to hear these stories that grandma would, I'm not even a grandma yet. He's only 27. God forbid. Don't
Yeah.
don't make me grandma yet. But one
Neither one.
day he'll be able to use them. And I also um, wanted to make sure that teachers, if they wanted to use them, there was something they don't want to pay for. They can use my stories. They have free permission to use those stories in the classroom to teach, but they just won't get what they're going to get in the stories that you'll see now.
So do you teach your lesson like through the story, or is the story an add-on? This is just what I'm trying
No,
to
I
work
teach
out.
through the story. Through the
Through the
story.
story. Okay. So your lesson is taught through the story. It is because I think what a lot of teachers struggle with is okay, I've got 30 minutes or an hour. It's hard to like devote a lot of time to a story when you've got to cover grammar and you've got to cover this. So you sort of embed it all into a lesson that correlates with the story. Is that what
Yes,
I'm understanding?
definitely. And I also make sure there's a lot of their own experiences with the guided questions. We literally stop on every single page of the story. The stories
Oh,
can
that's really
last
cool.
2 1-hour lessons because I take my time and it's very slow. Hi, Armella.
Hi, Irmela.
And hi, Katie, too. I saw her pop in. I go very slow with them because I believe in mastering. I don't believe in force feeding them. I don't want them to go very fast because when they go very fast, it goes into short-term memory and then it's gone.
Right.
And that's the beauty of teaching students on your own. You can give them the time to actually understand what they're learning.
That's right. Yeah. Don't feel like you have to, if you are using step by step sort of pre made curriculum, don't feel like you need to cover it all in a lesson. You can stop and start where you want. That's the beauty, as Brenda's saying. Okay. So why don't we, for sake of time, why don't we show what we're talking about here? Because that's the coolest part is looking at it actually.
Uh,
I'll add this to the stream here like this, and I'll bring us down. Let's see what I can do here with making it a bit bigger.
I
There
can
we
make
go.
it there. I can. Does that help?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay.
So tell us what we're looking at.
Okay. This was a teacher voted story. They voted for this. I was going to say the disappearance of Miss Brenda, but we did the disappearance of my first grade teacher, the disappearance of Miss Fletcher. So it's actually a mystery. that they're going to go through. They go in, there's 9 parts to it. It's not only a one part. And as you can also see at the very end, we do have a STEM project. So the STEM project is really great because it gets them using their mind and creating something. The students enter the library. They have a library card. They have to enter the library by putting their name on their library card, and then they enter into the doors. And when they go in, as you can see, each story is completely customized per child. It says, Tim, do you like mysteries? Click on the bus and we're going to begin. And as we begin the story, these are another presentation that I embedded inside. And these are called flashcards. And these are moving flashcards so that the kids can understand. So then when you flip it, they can understand that this is a beaker. And this is for the younger, so they only have it using it in context. The older students actually get the meaning at the top, and then they get to use it in context. And when you hit play, beaker, the scientist has a beaker. Of course, I speak on every single slide. And then this goes through, there are 6 new words. They'll learn all 6 words here. They'll flip each one of them. Then they go from this to the next part, which once we've introduced something, I use Bloom's taxonomy as well. At the lower level of Bloom's taxonomy, first they're going to be introduced to it. Then they're going to ask to be recalling it. And this is your second part, is where they're going to actually recall it. So they're going to match that to a sentence that water is a resource. If they get it wrong, as a teacher, you can just sit back and watch and let them solve the problem themselves. This is very important that we don't always correct them. Self-correction for a child is when they learn, not when we correct it for them. So they can see it says keep trying, and then at the end it's going to tell them congratulations. So once they go from there, then they're going to go into a quiz, and in the quiz as well, this is the scientist uses I'm thinking, give me a second. A beaker, they found a clue. Water is a resource, and I like history. And another thing is here as well, if they get something wrong, let's say they spell this one wrong, which I just did anyway. Let's do experiment wrong. Okay, and when they go to check on it, this one will actually point out where it is. Other ones will not point it out. And you have those kids that love that background music. They love to listen.
Yeah.
And then you just click on it and click to go off if you're agitated. And then it tells them that they did an awesome job. Then they begin with listening to the story. Then they're going to go into the story itself. And each page, as you can see, there's 3 icons. Either you can go back, you can get guided questions to ask the children, and what to do on this slide, because there's going to be something to do on all of the slides. And then here you have the story being read. And then as they're going in, this particular story has over 100 recordings. Wow. Because I name all the children. And I came up with thinking, those sticky notes when you're learning a language and you stick it on everything to start understanding something.
Mm-hmm.
Same Sam.
Look at that.
Pens,
Brenda, you have been busy.
Computer. Yeah. This one took me about 2 weeks. And then
Hourly asked, what platform are you using? Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, sorry. This is Genially.
Genially?
This is definitely Genially. And then
So
here
Genially.
they, like, even when they're answering the questions, they click it and it goes, sorry, try again.
Oh, wow.
And try again. And then, like, when they get it, you'll hear it. It's going to go ding. Okay, probably. Yeah. Okay, the sound on that one didn't go through, but it usually goes ding. Let me try this one. So I put the sound and I put that there. And then if they need a clue, they can just click Tom, and then they can make it bigger. Resources can be used by people.
And are you getting these graphics from Genially, or?
I pay for all of these graphics. Yeah. They're my best friends. These people love me. Music and I are like we're best friends. Etsy, music, I get all of the commercial. I get the commercial clip art so that I can use it in these. Here we have a video.
Mm-hmm.
And
Thirstiest pirates to have ever sailed the.
And then it can be made smaller, like right.
Sees was so ruthless and terrifying.
Okay, and they absolutely love this. Okay, so I'm going to skip these because these are all the same. And then when the story ends, we also go through the two things: comprehension. They answer the comprehension here, which is another self-correction, and then they can check at the end. After that, they have, this was actually one of my favorite. The students helped me with this one.
Cool.
This is an actual escape room.
Oh,
And they're going to go all over the school solving problems.
wow.
It's going to tell them here what to do. They can read what to do here and what they have, how they get out of the room. There's the hint here. They have
How
to
long
put,
are your classes?
I told you I do 2 1-hour classes.
2 1 hours. Okay.
Yeah, because that way they can enjoy them. And then here they just put the number 3. If they don't put the right number, they're not getting to the next room.
Okay.
And then this one the same. I think this is B. And they have to literally go through the same thing until they get out of the escape room. At the end, they're going to be able. Here, they're going to click around. They're listening for the sound. And then that's C. And we're almost out of the room. I got to get here. And this was the ball. This is the youngest room. The other rooms are harder. I use the same animations, but you know, I level it up according to the age group. And then at the end, they found the teacher.
Yay!
Yeah, and then
that's cool.
And this would be here. They do cracking the code. If I open that, it's gonna go to another browser, so I'm not gonna do that. So it's an actual code using all of those images became A, B, C, and then this comes with resources, the PDF, which is a copy of the story, a cover photo so that you can use it to sell the story to other parents to make your class. There's the video for the people that are in China, or so you get your own copy of the video. This also has those flashcards that you saw matching and an activity book.
Wow. So when I set this all up, I really thought that your books were more just the store, like e-readers that could be used, but it's a whole like curriculum, really, isn't it? With so much more to it. It's so neat.
And somebody asked if I use Zoom. Yes, I do use Zoom, and I ask all of my students to have a computer. If they don't, then you can use somewhere like Koala Go or Remote HQ for the shared browser. But I really, really, really want to encourage them to use the computer, because iPads have a habit of walking around the house. Laptops don't.
Yeah. So that's your one of the things you strongly suggest, which is good. Yeah, I mean, you know, you get to call the shots, right? As independent teachers, I think that's just the beauty of what we get to do and the freedom that we have. Very cool. So, wow, I'm impressed. So, would you? How do you sort of package this up for teachers to that you sell, or like?
I've done some individually where they can buy them. I think I placed it on Teachers Pay Teachers, one of the stories.
Okay.
You can do these. Somebody's asked. You can do them one-on-one, and you can do these as groups, because the stories don't have the names in it anymore. Before, the stories had the names in them, and then it wouldn't really work for group classes. But
I see.
So
what if you had a student that was like, you know, they're coming from a company and they're like level 4 VIP kid, or they're, you know, in 3rd grade, or they're, you know, sort of an A2 in that.
Actually, we go from A1 to B1. B2.
So do you group them into that kind of those kind of categories?
Age 4 to 6, because I level the readers myself. I check them on readability, which isn't always the greatest, but they are leveled. So these are for native speakers too, so it's okay. That's why I actually have a curriculum as well, and I wait till my students reach level 4 before I even introduce the story, because it's not going to work with somebody that can't speak. And I have my testers all the way in Texas. He couldn't even read the story, and he's grade 4. and I tried with the
Oh.
level 3. I had to level him down to level 1,
Okay,
and that's
so
because he's not a strong reader.
are your level ones like that? So someone
Grade
who's,
1?
okay. So, but if they're just learning English, they're very new to English.
You
Are
could
these suitable?
I would say no, not until they can at least get to level 3, level 2 or level 3, because there's a lot of times that you're gonna be asking these students questions, and these
Yeah.
questions are to get them thinking. Like I explained, I
Okay.
use Bloom's taxonomy, and by
Yeah.
the end, they're at the very top. It goes in a pyramid. At the beginning, we start with the very recognition, and that's where a lot of those lessons are until they are in level 3. And
Yeah.
then at the end of these lessons, you're gonna be at the tip top where they're creating a STEM activity. A STEM activity will make sure that they reach the top. So in one lesson, you're going to take them from the bottom of a pyramid to the top of the learning pyramid.
Very cool. So your lessons are more geared towards ESL students that have a bit of a base
Oh, of
than,
course.
yeah. Okay.
But
Cool.
90%, 95, actually
Uh-huh.
every student that has I've been reading these with
Hmm.
are ESL. And
Okay.
I've had 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds to because I have a brother and sister. One is 15 and his sister is 8. His sister is
Okay.
on one level, and then the brother will come and read the same story at the next level up
Okay. Great.
because he likes them.
Wow.
He prefers those over the other lessons.
Okay. Well, I'm so impressed. So yeah, if anybody wants to check out Brenda's stuff, she has a YouTube channel. I've linked it below. And they're great. They're really, you've done a good job with those. And your website is down below in the description of the video as well. And I know that you've got a free gift for anyone watching, and I'm going to put that in here. Tell us about that.
What it is it's going to be tips on how to make your own story. I will tell everybody it's not that simple.
Yeah. So I was going to
um,
ask you about making your own story, but we sort of fell a bit
Yeah,
short on
no,
time.
you can do them, but they take you want the more animation, the more in depth. They could take anywhere from a week to 2 weeks to do these stories. Writing is the easiest part. It's designing because each one of these have to be designed in the back. Then it has to match in the front. And then you have to match the activities that go with it. But just a basic interactive story, it can be done. I used to do them on Google Slides.
Okay. And so, yeah, if you don't have the time, which most people don't, then go and check out Brenda's books on her website. Can you tell us again, what is your website? I'm trying to find the link here, even though it is
Young
in the description.
learners,
Young
uh,
Learners,
curriculum.
younglearnerscurriculum.com.
Yep.
Okay.
And these are the interactive stories. Like I said, I have a foundation curriculum that has over 200 lessons. It brings them from level 2 to level 5. And then after that, we all got bored. I'm like in level 4, I'm already started doing the stories. I was so bored and I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, we've got to do something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But which is nice when I have kids 2 hours a week. I'll play one with I'll use Katie's stuff or I'll use my stuff, but my kids are a
Yeah.
little old now for Katie's. So I'm going back and forth. But yeah, I do
Cool.
have, like I said,
And it's only $7 a month for the stories. And then the curriculum in the stories is $12 a month, right?
I wanted to
Yeah.
make it like the cup of coffee. I'm a teacher. I know what we go through.
Yeah.
And I know
Very affordable,
they add
super
all
valuable.
because I see that they add everything adds. Even if
Yeah.
so each subscription adds up. So I don't even want to look at I never put them down on a sheet because my husband already said it. You're spending
Yeah.
more. And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
What are
and
your
and what I'm doing with the money everyone's giving me is I'm going right back to the curriculum.
Yeah.
The lady loves me. I get the coupon. Like every week they send me a coupon. They're like, she's going to buy more. She's going to
Yeah.
get more. We know her.
What are your plans for the future, Brenda, for this?
Since I love writing, I can still see myself doing these for a while. I've slowed down quite a bit. I used to try to get out 3 stories a week, but
Mhm.
now I'm doing like one every 2 weeks because I love it.
Yeah.
I love the creative part because it gives you a balance in the day to
Yeah.
not always be on.
Well, what I love about you is that you found something that you love to do, and that's like, isn't that just the dream, right? To you're teaching online, but you're also doing this creative stuff and helping other teachers, and also, making a little bit of money as well, which is, great, which you should be compensated for. So I think it's wonderful, and encourage all of you watching or that watch the replay to go and check them out if you're looking for something like this. And how can folks contact you? Can they get in touch with you through the
Yeah.
through the website, Brenda? Yeah.
They can
Okay.
they can get through the website, and it's very easy. It's brenda@vlerock.com. I answer all my emails. I also have groups. I have Facebook groups. I'm in so many Facebook groups anyway. I'm in yours. I'm all over.
Yeah, that's probably where I've met
I
you.
love community. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope it inspires those that might be watching, and maybe it's not making stories, but maybe you have something that you're passionate about, like with the internet and the freedom that we have to create things that we're passionate about. The sky's the limit for what's out there. So
It
maybe
is.
it's
And like I get yelled at all the time to get off the internet. And I'm like, I'm painting, leave me alone. That's my answer. I'm painting because I like to
yeah.
paint. So he comes in and I have my own bedroom. It's so great being married with your own bedroom. It's amazing. Shut the door. He knows but I feel like he's dad. I feel
Yeah.
like I can hear it. I'm like, oh my God. And
It's coming.
he's coming. So I've got the phone hiding and I just drop it when he gets in the room. It's like that. Because are you doing work again? No, not at all. The great thing
You've
about
got lots of people
millennials.
saying great job, lots of hard
Thank
work.
you.
Andy asks 1-to-1 ? I think maybe do you teach 1-to-1?
I do both. You can do it as a group and you can do it one-on-one. I like
Yeah.
one-on-one because you can really get a lot of information. But you can use it as a group, but I wouldn't recommend over 4 kids because then
Okay.
they're all going to get lost. Because peer teaching, peer learning is very good. So when you have groups, they're going to compete for it, and they can each take a line of the story. They can each identify something. So as a teacher, I'm a trained teacher in school. It can be
Yeah.
used both ways.
And you're definitely bringing in pedagogy and research into this and solid
learning
models,
styles.
and learning styles. Yeah. So good for you. Great. Anything else? Did we cover everything? That was great, Brenda. Thank you so much.
I like your kitty. Can you send him for vacation in Bulgaria?
Yes.
I lost my kitty so long ago. That looks like an Angora. Looks like the Angora. Long-haired Angora.
That's the one thing about I love her to death, and she's with me forever. But I also love to travel, and I love to not be in a place for too long. So having pets does make that challenging. But yeah, so if you can house sit,
do you want to
have
see
a
my
free place
pet?
in Thailand.
Oh, definitely. This is my pet.
Oh, there you go.
My husband is such a germaphobe, even before Corona. Corona. It's the coronavirus. I keep thinking of a beer.
Yeah.
Every time I say it, I think of a beer. But this is his idea of a pet.
Okay, there you go. Easy, right?
And I told him it's okay if, God forbid, you and I ever divorce. That's the first thing I'm getting is a dog or a cat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as I say, if you want to house sit in Bangkok, you have a place to stay and a cat to take care of.
Definitely. And if you want to come see Bulgaria, it's a 9,000-year-old country. People don't realize how much history is over here. We have the first gold find in the world. We actually were told by, I think it was Aristotle, they were actually inspired with these gold masks. They came from Bulgaria by the Thracians.
Okay.
So
yeah, one of my closest friends, she's from Bulgaria, but she's migrated to Canada, and she's Canadian. Fully Canadian now, but yeah, I don't know much about it.
No, my husband said he won't go to America. We left. He said, "You guys left. You left Europe. Why would I go there?"
Well, thank you so much, Brenda. We've covered a lot, and it's been so great. So thanks for giving up your time.
Yes, and I'm so happy because I've been following you, and I've been watching, and I'm in your group as well.
Great.
So I'm very happy when you asked me about them.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad we could connect. Yeah. And if anyone wants to join the Facebook group Going Solo Independent Teaching, that is also linked below in the description. If you're looking for community, there's lots of groups out there. Just reach out and find out, where people are supportive and join those groups. So thank you, Brenda. We'll bring you downstage and keep in touch. Take care.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, Brenda.
Bye.
Well, that was great. Thanks, everyone, for tuning into the end. Really appreciate it. If you didn't catch the whole thing, this will be on replay, and you can just, watch it at your own pace. And the links that I shared as well will be in the video description. Again, do go and grab Brenda's free book here, or the tips. I've got it up there in the Google Forms. Let me just paste that again and make sure that those that came in a little bit late can access that. And thanks for being here. Just see if there's any other comments or questions. Okay, appreciate you. And we'll see you next week, Monday, for another interview. And again, if you're ever looking to share your story on my channel, feel free to reach out. Take care, everyone. Happy teaching, and bye-bye.